Hi everybody, sanibonani, welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyaye sibuke ama-reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese siza la sokhuluma ngawo lama shows, senza ama-reviews or ama-recaps bese siyaphinda futhi sikhuluma nga any other issues avuka uma ngabe lama shows sesiwabukile kwi-TV. If it's your first time joining us today and you really like our content, do not forget to press the subscribe button la ngezansi bese upressa ne-notification bell ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufake. Guys, angazi yini le ngizoyenza lana because the mahlipihlipi that we watched yesterday on Uyajola 99, the problematic Uyajola 99 that we watched last night, the problematic Moja Love, the problematic Jup Jup. I know, guys. No, I wasn't impressed with this episode, you guys. I wasn't impressed. Number one, mayiqala nje episode hliphi I was like, am I waking up from a nap or something, and did I miss the first part of the show where they actually greet us, and welcome us to the show, where they actually introduce the guest and we know even her name, uDominic Sithole igama lakhe le samba ngendlela. I'm like, what the hell is happening? So when the show just starts, this was episode 25, by the way. When the show starts, they're already like at the on the door to catch the person that is cheating, but we don't know who's cheating, and we don't know anything about the relationship, anything. So they obviously open the door. Brandon is there, who is the husband to the lady, I guess. We just had to put the story together ourselves, because we might as well because Uyajola 919 didn't do it for us. And he's there with another lady who apparently is pregnant, you guys. Listen. The problems that is Uyajola 99. The lady is pregnant, so obviously they're under the blankets or on the bed. I do not understand where they were, you guys, but the wife, who is Dominique, at some point did say, this is my flat. This is my flat. So but then it looked like she doesn't stay there at the same time, so I didn't understand that what's going on, because at some point I thought this looks like maybe they just rented a room for the night or whatever, but she did say at some point, because this is her room. Brandon is there with another woman, doesn't care about anything. From picking up here and there, it looks like they've been married with Dominique they've been together for 15 years, even though I am not clear as to how long they have been married out of the 15 years. They do have 3 kids, but at some point they do say 2 kids. Dominique says the reason that she fell in love with Brandon has like a family structure. She fell in love with her family, and she comes from a broken family, a broken marriage. Her parents divorced, and she really liked the idea that Brandon had that family unit, and she fell in love with it, and has been welcomed by the family, of course. And so yes, that's why she fell in love. Now, when they catch them, the lady, I tried to hide her face. In fact, I don't even think that we did see the lady's face, the one that they were cheating with. Now they're under the blankets. Obviously, in the previous episode, Uchup walked in, pulled the blankets, and here it took time, you guys. And I don't know, guys, I have feelings that episode was not shot on the same day. I do have a feeling like that. I feel like that this episode was not shot on the same day. I feel like they did do the episode as normal, but then they also were like, I think we might have issues with the viewers with this episode, let's go and reshoot it. And maybe they paid those people to come and reshoot it. It's just that's why we ended up with 2 parts that were absolutely unnecessary to have. I do feel like that. I do feel like they didn't, because for a long time he didn't pull the blanket. Jup is speaking to the people that are cheating very respectfully, which we don't know of, because Jup uyadelela when he does Uyajola 99, when he speaks to the person that is cheating, when he speaks to the lady that is the guy is cheating with. we know how he speaks to them, but he was speaking so respectfully all of a sudden, and we're like, huh, what are we watching? And then they did part two, and then they changed things around. So I am so convinced that this episode might not have been shot on the same day, that they actually went back and reshot that show, because we know the fakery that Moja Love sometimes gives us. It just didn't balance, you guys. So if my review doesn't sound like it's balanced, it's because the episode itself was not. So then finds the lady in bed with another lady. The way that he explains it, because the lady is pregnant, obviously the wife is going crazy. You've been with me. In just earlier on today, you were with me. And Uchup asked him, when was the last time he was home? The lady is like, who's a Kaya Lona all the time? He sleeps with me all the time. He sleeps in my bed all the time. So, but sometimes, like, we will be busy with him, and then he's texting her, and then which turns out what's the wife knows about this lady. So this man has been cheating with this lady for a while, but the way that he explains it is that yes, he was cheating with this lady, they broke up, the relationship was over. She comes back, I think like 5 months later, she says that she's pregnant. So he decides that, okay, fine, if you're pregnant, I'm going to give you whatever it is that you need since you are pregnant. But then things escalate and they end up, in bed. She says she doesn't understand why the wife is upset, because the wife has actually initiated a divorce. So, what he is waiting for actually is the divorce papers. Okay. The wife is crying, hysterical. Mina, what am I going to be without you? So you're going to move on with someone else. Mina, where am I going to find someone with 3 kids who's going to love me with 3 kids? Shup Shup is like, someone is going to love you better than this guy. Anybody can love you better than this guy. That's what we were saying, that woman is like, I don't know why, Noma desperate or whatever. Noma, she needs some self-love, because it's like she feels like this Brandon is the only person that can ever possibly love her, and she just won't let go. And it sounds like Vele gets up into no go. Oh, Brandon just looks like, listen, I don't care. I will sleep with anybody, anywhere, anytime. That kind of a guy. Like a guy that you do not cry over. Like he looks like that type of a guy. Okay. So for a long time I thought, okay, Uyajola they are being respectful, because they did let them keep the blankets, you guys. I honestly think this was a tricky episode, because at the same time I was watching to see if Job treats this episode differently from the other episode, just because of their race. Of course I was watching for that, but at the same time I was like, maybe now they're learning what they need to not do this thing yokuthi bambula abantu, and then a person ends up being naked on national TV, which they end up doing. At some point, guys, the camera guy is like this close to the lady that is not dressed and also pregnant, like this. This lady. The privacy the privacy was definitely their privacy was definitely violated. I mean, they were naked on national TV, you guys, but I have that issue where I feel like it's almost that scene where they were totally naked on the bed was shot at a different time from when they initially came into the room. I don't know, guys, this episode for me felt weird. At some point later on, the lady is crying. Jub is hugging the lady. He is comforting the lady. I'm like, Haibo, since when do we comfort people on New Uyajola 99? I really feel like they should have just done the show like they normally do the show. I don't know why they did. It's like we didn't have the second episode. It was all this episode. But it was like the second part of it, I don't know why they added it, because it was just that conflict. Or they wanted to prove a point to us that they're treating these people the same way as they treat the others, because they wanted to show us them naked and all of that. Anyway, you guys, they end up getting dressed, obviously, because after they sit there for a long time naked, the conversation was going round and round. The guy is saying, okay, let's get a divorce. But the woman is like, no, she doesn't want to divorce the woman who's being cheated on. It was just a mess, you guys. It really was just a mess. Okay. So the guy, finally, they want to get dressed now, because the guy's like, what else do you want from me? I've answered all the questions that you want. I want to go home now. He's looking for his pants. They figure out the pants are not here, because he's wearing boxer shorts. He looks around the room there. There's not shorts, his pants are not there, and then he goes to the car. The woman goes crazy again because it's like, oh, so you guys started doing this in the car. So they started doing the deed in the car, moved to the house. So he had already taken off his pants, and then they moved to they moved to the house. The pants are there outside. You guys. But yeah, that's what happened. And then yeah, the lady was crying. He will move on. What's gonna happen with me, girl? Like, you will find someone else. If you don't find yourself, just find yourself and love yourself. It's better than being loved by that person that doesn't even know how to show love. Anyway, guys, I think Moja was trying to try so hard to prove to us that this episode they were treating it the same way as other episodes, but they were not, and we were seeing it, and there were things that were not adding up. Even Chup Chup at the end of the episode, he's trying to make us understand why it was in over, why there was no introduction, why wasn't what, and we're sitting there like, but we're just confused. We still don't know what's happening here. Yeah, that was the episode for today, guys. I don't know what else to tell you. It was a mess, okay? Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me not say I can't wait, but I know it's coming for Moja Love to be sued for these things that they're doing, because they push it. They push it, you guys. They push it, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video before Puma. Share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ntando kakhulu.